Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up.
Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
We got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no-bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that builds Maine Care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those illegal immigrants aren't getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocados Diablias asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? Oh, that's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Somnambule Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John Wick. I guarantee it. I didn't have to think of it.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people, and the Biden administration, over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing. Mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, in Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs. but not convicted rapists. A German court gives woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate it when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's a story about this man too. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob DeSager, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible and converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching, quote, I was a follower of the sword. Now I'm a follower of the cross. Amazing. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole worked for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to sic the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond companies. We'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do.
Additionally, if you open this up to ice fishing, while on the surface it sounds good, then what happens next year? Does someone come back and say, I want an ice shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time? And if you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution. And now you've got the police chief and the police department involved. Just data points to consider.
It is Happy Bill of Rights Day on December 1791. The Commonwealth of Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. George Mason and James Madison were the driving forces behind these guarantees of individual rights. And note that all the individual rights that are in the Bill of Rights are not rights granted by the government. Those are the inalienable rights which the government shall not infringe. And if you notice, it's interesting because the Bill of Rights is all about what the government cannot do, not what the government can do. And I think kind of got away from that a little bit, where some people seem to think that the government is going to grant you rights. No, these are rights you have, whether it's a government or not, and the rights that the government must protect for you. So it was a unique thing when it came about in 1791. that government is not there to grant you or give you privileges, but rather to protect the rights that you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Well, if you heard all that shuffling around before the show, that was me. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. On this Monday, the 23rd of March, 2023, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. And as much as I would have loved to have been here on time, my cable or whatever internet service decided to mess around with our internet. So I'm glad I'm even here because it's back on. And so here we go. Thank you, Avocados Diabli. First sponsor today, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Dropping a small bull in the tip jar, 223, to tell me that the F in communism stands for food. It took me a second. That's a good one. That's the first time I ever heard that one. That was awesome. Thank you, Avocados Diabli. By the way, Avocados Diabli is also the first one in the chat today, as I turn up my volume so you can hear me a little better. And so there, you get the bell for that too. All right, yeah. Also, good morning, JB. Jay Blizza is in the house. Kara Soldier, Select a Boy. Yeah, also, boy. Unholy Queen, our young friend, Midnight. Also, good morning to, let's see, Blue Eyed Screams in the house. Tyre Alexander, yes, Pope Tyrannus III. The Blessed Lich with today's message of hope, not from the Father, not from the Son, but from the Holy Ghost. And he says, blessing of the Holy Ghost, I want all to know Death is doing well after his fight with Chuck Norris. Gods say he will be able to eat solid foods in 3 weeks. Chuck couldn't be reached for comments. That's a good one. Yes, the Pope keeping it light today. Chuck beat Death's ass, but he still did some work over the weekend. We'll get into that in a minute. Also, good morning to Looney Lenny's in the house. What's up? Man Squatch, good morning. Green Badger Outdoors. And is that everybody? Is that everybody? Kind of everybody. Anyway, that was good. Those are a couple good ones there, and that was lovely. Anyway, all right, let's get into it because I'm late, and well, not by choice, but because of the elements around me. Thanks, people shared the stream, which include, of course, Somnambul Nation. Thank you very much. You'll get a bell for that, and that's because you're the first one to share the show. Also, Green Badger Outdoors giving a little military hardware. Why is the flight not coming in? There we go. That military hardware is just landed on that flight deck. Also, JB with a little. Wait a minute. I gotta play this. Hold up. This looks funny. It's a cat.
Master, what is the secret to eternal happiness?
Do not argue with stupid people.
That's it? I don't think that works.
You are right.
Master.
That's good. That's very good. Also, JB dropping another one up here. Oh, that was Somnambul Nation gave me that one. Did I say that? I'm not sure if I said that or not. Also, JB dropping this one. I'm not sure why. We'll find out. Unholy Queen, aka Midnight, drop one that I can finally repost. Ty Alexander and JB and Somnambul Nation and Green Badger Outdoors sharing the stream or at least reposting my post and the daily Ric Flair. Woo! from Tyler Alexander. Thank you very much. And if you haven't shared the stream, you got a few minutes because I'm going to leave that thing up there at least for the time being. Okay, now let's get into the show. A lot to talk about today and not a whole lot of time to do it. So let's do as much as we can. Wow, the new water heater fund isn't doing too well, but that's okay. We'll get there eventually. The takeoff work for my new hip fund's gonna have to start pretty soon because I think I'm gonna wait until the end of the summer, either the end of August or early September, to do that because I have things I have to be able to do between now and then. That if I'm sitting up with a hip replacement recovery time, I'm going to be screwed. So we'll do that towards the end of the year. What? What? Midnight? Why are you yelling? I brought a friend today. Oh, you did? Where? Is that Dragon Killers? Good morning. Hello, Dragon Killers there. New person coming to the show. I'm assuming that's who it is. Nice to have you here, although I get concerned because sometimes I'm a dragon ass. Anyway, okay, so let's I'm so stupid. So holidays, what we should be celebrating today. Today is National Puppy Day. Yay! And so Patriot says today is National Puppy Day. Just a reminder that new RNC co-chair Lara Trump auctions off rescued puppies to the highest bidder at Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. I didn't know that. I'm just curious why that's a problem. If they're doing it for charity, if they're doing it for charity, where does the money go? Hello, Woodcutter. What's up? What is that? Why is that? This is Patriot Takes, by the way, is anti-Trump, just FYI. And so I'm just curious why that's a problem. Does the money go to charity? What do they do it for? Okay. And it's good that they rescue. Is it bad that they rescue puppies? I don't know. But anyway, as I scroll through the National Puppies, okay. Oh my God. Well, there's clothing, so we got to see it. I'm sure you're going to see. Now, isn't that just a cute little puppy there? That you can see are you even looking at the puppy? Come on, guys. There's a puppy in the picture. Hello, Unacceptable Views. What's up? National Puppy Day should be every day. And then we've got these cute little puppies too. So there you go. I just figured it's National Puppy. I don't know why. Oh, this is baseball legend Rube Waddell poses with the St. Louis Cardinal Browns mascot dog. That's in 1909. Yeah, they're way too, that's gross if you ask me. Anyway, and then and here, Monday, so soon, we know it can be rough heading back into the office. Please take the slow on the roads this morning and do what you got to do to be alert behind the wheel. Drowsy driving is dangerous. So there you go. All right. If Trump had anything to do with it, it's bad. Definitely. So there you go. At National Puppy Day. Also, today, the 23rd of March, is also the day that Patrick Henry. Wait, what the hell is that doing there? It was supposed to be Patrick Henry. There's Patrick Henry. The day that Patrick Henry gave his famous "Give me liberty or give me death" speech. Today in America's history, 1775, "Give me liberty or give me death." During the Second Virginia Convention in Richmond, Patrick Henry delivered his famous speech urging resistance against British rule. He famously declared, "Give me liberty or give me death." This passionate call helped rally support for the American Revolutionary War, which began shortly after. So there's probably more detailed items in here, but anyway, we commemorate Patrick Henry's favorite speech. And then in just entertainment news, I got an assignment for you. Iowa was trending very high on the list this morning when I got in here, and I was like, well, why is Iowa trending? And of course, it has to do with March Madness, the NCAA basketball tournaments, right? And I want you to, if you get a chance, I want you to watch this video. We're not going to do it now, but there's a video about an incident that happened during the game, and I'm just going to read the post, and then I want you to go in and analyze this. We'll talk about it again tomorrow. But it says, this person says, "I'm sorry, I'm still trying to make sure I've got this right." So because Alvaro Fogleras is so bad at throwing punches, he doesn't know how to follow through. He gets away with attempted battery on national television. So what they're claiming is that this basketball player threw a punch at the other player while they were on the ground. So I want you to watch the video over and over. In fact, I'm going to give it its own little separate link for today. And tomorrow, I'm going to ask you your opinion on this, because I see something completely different than the writer of that post. And even the refs who are reffing this game, I also, being someone who's very into basketball and played basketball and coached basketball, I live basketball. And I'm just telling you, I have a different opinion. So if you'd watch that video, we're not gonna go through it today. It's only about a minute long, but you can do it on your own. Good morning, Miss Wild Wolf and Lord Stanhope. I want you to do that as your assignment. Other things to celebrate today. Of course, we've already said that it's National Puppy Day. Also, National Chinchilla Day. Now, I don't know a lot of people who own chinchillas, but they're cute little critters. And they also make really nice coats. So anyway, and it's also Cuddly Kitten Day. So whoever gave me that little cat video, oh, that was you, Somnambull Nation, the cat video of the master cat. That cat wasn't cute or cuddly. Anyway, National Chip and Dip Day, World Bear Day, as that means like the animal, not getting bear. World Math Day, Atheist Day. I don't believe in that. Okay Day. Just if you're okay. Ravenclaw Pride Day. Uh-oh, we're getting into the Harry Potter stuff. Harry Potter nerds, it's Ravenclaw Pride Day. National Jacob Day. If your name is Jacob, I should call my son. My son's name is Jacob. National Tamale Day. Oh, do you know anyone who makes really good tamales? There's a restaurant here. What's it called? El Loro. Not too far from where I live. And they have really good tamales, pork-filled tamales. Now I'm hungry. Pakistan Day, World Meteorological Day, which means nobody's gonna get that one right. National Alice Day, if your name's Alice. National Chia Day. Chia. Does anyone? Okay, if you ever have owned, and I mean ever, if you have ever owned a chia pet, put a 1 in the chat. If you have not, put a 0. If you've ever owned a chia pet, put a 1 in the chat. Hello, Brent A. What's up? Nice to have you back. I know you're going to be mad at me about something today, but that's okay. You know, I love you still. Near Miss Day, an awareness observance on March 23rd, highlighting the potential dangers of near-Earth asteroids, commemorating the 1989 close pass of the 4581 Asclepius. That was a meteor they gave a name. Hey, you know what? Also, they we talked about that one that the little meteor shower was it over Michigan or something? No, it landed near Cleveland. That's what it was. That was wild because a lot of that made it to the ground. I wonder if anyone's gotten any of the pieces yet. Hello, James PFP. What's up? Also, Melba Toast Day, Otago Anniversary Day. I have no idea. And then we got the months. We don't do the months. We only do what the holiday is for today. So, let's see. Now, also interesting. Oh, and also we have a couple notable events that people have passed today. And I'm going to be respectful. Robert Mueller, the former FBI director, has passed away. And there's a lot of posts pro and con from Robert Mueller. I'm going to just restrain from commenting. Robert Mueller was a war hero, but he also he probably had his issues, whatever. But may he rest in peace. The Breitbart article, again, see, now Breitbart does what the New York Times did for, anyone else that they don't like. Robert Mueller, former FBI director, special counsel for Russiagate hoax, dies at 81. Well, let's give him his due for the good things he did upon his passing. And then, later in the month, it's almost the end of the month, whatever. We can hash over what good and bad Robert Mueller did. So there you go. Brent, Mueller didn't go to Epstein Island. Trump did. Do you have any evidence of that? Because there's no reports ever anywhere, even in the files that have been opened, and no one's ever said that Trump's ever been to Epstein Island. I'm not sure where you got that from, but you can fantasize, whatever. There you go. Anyway, you just came here to troll. I do love it though. I appreciate your diligence. Also, someone named Leonard Radvinsky has passed away. Now, if you know who Leonard Radvinsky is, which I did not until today, I'm giving you the J.D. Vance side eye. And not even the side eye, just the... Why? I found out today that Leonid Radvinsky is the creator of OnlyFans. And it's interesting reading how people post about it, which I found fascinating because I could care less about Leonid Radvinsky, but some people have decided to say, for example, here's an example, Jewish pornographer Leonid Radvinsky. I'm fascinated that they started that way. Owner of OnlyFans has accumulated a fortune of $8 billion selling degeneracy to the Western world. Well, I can't disagree with that. Radvinsky has given $11 million to AIPAC, the Israeli lobbying and propaganda group in the USA. Oh my goodness, that's FTG for that. You know, I mean, what FTG for the poster of this again. I'm sure that he has a daughter, by the way, who was very upset by that. Piper Raquel breaks down as she finds out her dad, Leonid Radvinsky, the OnlyFans leader, passed away at age 43, realizing her life is ruined. No, my life is ruined. I can't make money now. I would pay you any amount of money to get it back. Well, he is worth $8 billion. What are you talking about? I don't know if you need to make a living anymore. Anyway, and then other people just, kept it straight there. This one, Leonid Radvinsky, billionaire owner of OnlyFans, has died at the age of 43 due to cancer. Radvinsky, Ukrainian-born Jew, they did it again. Emigrated to the United States as a child. He became the largest donor to AIPAC in 2024, pledging $11 million to the Israel lobby. Okay, but anyway, so I wonder what that means for OnlyFans. Whatever. Don't care. All right, let's move on. Also, the big breaking news from this morning, and this is not good at all. There was a plane crash at LaGuardia Airport this morning. The plane ran into an emergency vehicle. There's a couple different reports here. One from CBS and one from the New York Post. 2 pilots are dead after an Air Canada plane collided with a fire truck at LaGuardia Airport. CBS News' Chris Cleve reports that the emergency vehicle was responding to an odor inside a United Airlines flight that aborted its takeoff. Here's what we know so far. This is the report from CBS News this morning. This happened late last night.
An Air Canada Jazz or Air Canada Express CRJ regional jet. We understand there were about 72 passengers plus 4 crew on board. Tragically, the flight crew, the 2 pilots, were killed in this collision. What we know is the plane was cleared to land. It had landed on runway 4. It was slowing down when it collided with a fire truck that was responding to a situation on the other side of the airfield. We can hear in air traffic control audio that the controller cleared that fire truck to cross runway 4, then quickly realized that he had just put it on a collision course with this airplane, pleaded with that fire truck to stop, but it was too late. Those couple of seconds were not enough time for that fire engine to stop. The collision happened. We know that approximately 41 people were taken to the hospital with varying injuries, 39 of them from the plane, 2 of them firefighters on board that fire truck. The NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, is launching a GO team. They will lead this investigation to look into the situation.
So, and I've been reading about a lot of this morning since my internet was down, and that's why I'm so late today, because normally on Monday I'm on time. But anyway, so the 2 pilots died in the crash. The 2 crew members in the emergency vehicle were injured but not killed. They were they're in the hospital. 42 passengers were injured. 32 have already been released. One of the more miracle ones is one of the flight attendants was ejected from the plane in the crash in her seat, and she survived. She's in the hospital, and I think critical. They say critical but stable condition. I got caught up in this while I was waiting for my internet to come back on my phone. So that's as much as I know so far. Let's see. I'm going to see the other report here, and you can. It's under the LaGuardia tag is more information, but as I look at the CBS article, 2 pilots killed as plane and fire rescue truck collide in New York LaGuardia Airport. The airport's still shut down as of right now. I'm not sure, or it was as of this morning. I'm not sure if they've cleared any of this yet. 2 pilots were killed and dozens of people were injured in New York LaGuardia Airport late Sunday night when an arriving Air Canada Express plane and a fire rescue vehicle collided on the runway. Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, which runs the airport, said in a statement that the pilot and co-pilot were killed in the collision and 41 people were taken to the hospital. 39 from the aircraft and 2 Port Authority aircraft rescue and firefighting officers from the truck. Port Authority Executive Director Kathleen Garcia told reporters Monday that the initial indications were 32 people had been released, but there are also serious injuries. Garcia said Air Canada Flight 8646, operated by Jazz Aviation, had 72 passengers. Thanks for finally subscribing, Brent Day. I appreciate that. CBS News investigative unit senior producer Pat Milton cited a source saying that it appeared the collision was an accident and there was no foul play of terrorism suspected. LaGuardia was closed. Federal Aviation Administration issued a ground stop for the airport until at least 2 p.m. So I'm not sure if that's still in effect or not. CBS News senior transportation and national correspondent Chris Van Cleve reported the collision happened as air traffic control was also responding to a separate incident where pilots of United Airlines Flight 2384 aborted their takeoff when an anti-ice warning light came on. They reported an odor in the cabin and requested assistance from the firefighters. Police and flight attendants were feeling ill and declared an emergency when no gates were immediately available. Air traffic control apparently cleared the fire rescue vehicles across the runway before telling it to stop. Air traffic control recordings revealed. Again, probably the same information from New York Post. Let's see. They had different reporters on it. And on audio, LaGuardia plane crash audio captures the moments before the fatal collision. And I'm going to play this report in the New York Post. Just a second here. Was the
vehicle needed across the runway? Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower. Truck 1 and Company. Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta.
So this is the emergency vehicle.
Cross 4 at Delta. Truck 1 and Company, 4 at Delta. Frontier 4195, just stop there, please. Stop. Truck 1, stop. Stop, Truck 1, stop. Stop, Truck 1, stop.
Oh, God, brutal.
Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000. 646. 646, I see you collide with vehicle in pole position. I know you can't move. The vehicles are responding to you now. Fuck.
Is the runway closed?
Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000.
Heading 2000, go around, Delta 2603.
LaGuardia Tower.
Structure 2, runway 4 is closed. Yes, go on to runway 4 now. If you see on runway 4, you have access.
Tower, car 90, runway 422 is closed at this time.
90, roger.
LaGuardia Tower, vehicle 98.
98. 98. Vehicle 98.
Vehicle 98, please show at this time. Runway 422 is closed. 422 is closed at this time.
Tower, car 90, LaGuardia Airport is closed at this time.
So 2603, runway 3000, go to approach 20.8 now.
3000, over.
So 3988, cross 13 Romeo, left at Papa. So 3988, cross 13 Romeo, left at Papa.
We'll cross 13 on Romeo, left on Papa, southwest, 3988.
2603, 20.8, they're looking for you.
Tower, car 0308, LaGuardia Airport is closed at this time. No aircraft in or out.
Okay. Frontier 4195, you copy that?
So obviously they're rerouting other flights while that as it happened. Very it sucks, man. ATC captured an American Express flight collided with the truck. You can play that in the article here. And then the third article here, I think passengers describe chaos before fatal crash and recount pilot's heroic final act that saved lives. Passengers on the Air Canada flight that crashed with a fire truck in New York's LaGuardia Airport have described the chaos as the aircraft veered out of control on the runway, while suggesting the pilots who died may have saved countless other lives. It was a regular flight, like always. Passenger Jack Cabot told Fox News of the jet that landed from Montreal just before 11:40 p.m. on Sunday. As we were arriving, we came down really hard. We stopped really quickly. 2 seconds later, we had an absolute slam. He recalled of the crash that left the front of the Jeff obliterated. Is this him?
It was like a regular flight, like always, but as we were arriving, we came down really hard.
Okay,
we stopped really quickly, and then about 2 seconds later, we just had an absolute like slam. Everybody was flying everywhere. I mean, like the plane started veering off left and right, and there was, I mean, it was chaos. I mean, it didn't feel like there was anybody in control.
Had to be. I can't even imagine. So. Let's see. They have more here. Another passenger described how it appeared that the pilots had put the aircraft into reverse thrust at the last second, which may have saved the lives of those on board. So, pray for those pilots and their families. They have passed away. So, hopefully, what they've done is. Clearly they may have saved a lot of people with whatever actions they were taking. I'm sure we're going to hear more about this over the next couple days. So, again, in other news, just featured news on X today. Dozens of UK police arrest an elderly man for online posts. This is one of the features featured stories. The video shows British police surrounding a rural home and arresting the cooperative man for offensive communications online with no resistance as he's led away. Highlights the UK laws like Section 127 of the Communications Act of 2003, which led to 12,183 arrests in England. So again, in England, you could be arrested for shit you say or even agreeing with posts on Facebook or wherever else you post. Apparently it took 10 officers to arrest this gentleman. Now when they say elderly man, I was expecting to see like some 110-year-old dude. This guy didn't look that elderly necessarily. I mean, well, I guess because I'm probably around the same age. I'm sure he's probably around 60, like me. But here we go.
Yeah, let me just record. This is kind of unusual. What's going on? Okay, so currently you've been placed under arrest for harassment. Okay.
Hold on. Listen to my colleague. Listen to my colleague.
I'll explain everything. Yeah, I'll explain everything. So you're under arrest on suspicion of harassment.
Harassing who? Okay, well, explain to me. Give us 2 seconds.
But my children are in there.
Just let us speak, and we'll go through that afterwards.
Harassment for who? I don't understand.
You do not have to say anything.
I don't understand why they have to put music behind this, but anyway.
It may harm your defence. I don't know what's going on.
Let me explain the question, okay? You do not have to say anything. It may harm your defence if you do not mention one question.
They are handcuffing him for offensive internet posts. Brent, watch out. Actually, all of us should watch out. Everybody should watch out. Because if this becomes any form of law in the United States, which thankfully we have the First Amendment, but depending on who's in power, you could be next. Holy shit. I hate this stuff, you know, because I like offending people. I don't know. But even John Cleese says ridiculous, insane, and alarming. Also, British parents arrested by 6 police officers for daring to complain about their daughter's school via WhatsApp. UK is worse than North Korea. That's what it says. So this is another case where people were arrested for their offensive posts. Oh, it's the same people. But anyway, so there you go. Also, featured news, critics slam Pritzker for silence on Loyola student's murder by Venezuelan migrant. On March 19th, Loyola University Chicago student Sheridan Gorman from New York was fatally shot in the head while walking with friends near Rogers Park Beach. 25-year-old undocumented Venezuelan Jose Medina, previously released despite ICE detainers under Illinois sanctuary policies, faces first-degree murder charges. Critic contrasts Pritzker's wreath-laying visit in January for 2 Minnesota victims killed by ICE agents with photos she shared online with his office's lack of comment on Gorman's death. As noted in resurfaced post, Medina entered the U.S. illegally in May 2023 and was freed after shoplifting charges. ICE calls the killing 100% avoidable and has lodged a new detainer, which will not be honored in Illinois. Hello, Evan S., by the way. And this is Kyle. What's up? Nice to see you. And so, yeah, this is most people complaining about J.B. Pritzker on this. I want to remind you, J.B., that one of your people murdered an 18-year-old college freshman girl who was innocently out with her friends in Rogers Park hoping to view the Northern Lights. When ISIS the purported perpetrator of death, your voice condemnation can be heard from coast to coast. But when an 18-year-old girl is murdered in Chicago by an illegal alien, you protect crickets. So, should he comment on this? I don't know why he wouldn't. You would think that, in fact, they featured his post standing with Minnesota tonight, paying my respects to Alex Preddy and Renee Good. So, yeah, I still don't understand it. It's like there's arguments. Oh, well, immigrants commit less crimes than Americans, native-born Americans, or they keep saying the illegal immigrants do too. I'm not sure how they monitor that, but so if that's the case, why would we want additional crime on top of what Americans already commit? It's always one of those arguments where I go, is that really your argument, that because native-born Americans commit more crimes, that we should allow even more crimes, and usually far more serious crimes? I don't think it matters, does it? So anyway, the same people who think men can be women. True. Also featured more questions resurfaced over Representative Ilhan Omar's asset surge. We've been talking about that for a while. I know Steve Forbes has been talking about this, and they're trying to figure out how exactly. Well, here, her 2023 financial disclosure listed East Street Crew LLC winery, valued at that time $15,000 to $50,000, and Rose Lake Capital, a similar low range. By 2024, those jumped up to $1 million and $5 million, and $5 million to $25 million, pushing the couple's total assets to between $6 and $30 million. Critics like Steve Forbes question the firm's operations, pointing to an empty winery site, no SEC registration, and a settled investor fraud lawsuit against Minot. House Oversight Chairman James Comer demanded records while a blocked $1 million earmark while a blocked $1 million earmark for a Minnesota nonprofit added to the scrutiny. Omar called the GOP a political stunt with no charges filed as of March 2026. I think that's being investigated right now. But it's strange. And also what's strange, if people have gone to the offices where Minette, her husband, supposedly has an office, and it's kind of one of those rent office spots, and they have no marker there. So interesting that a company managing $30 million in assets, also none of it's been registered with the SEC. That's worse. That's why Forbes is looking into it. You wonder how that happens. So lots of people talking about that, certainly on the right. And then finally, this clip's been going around over the weekend. Professor defends trans woman in sports debate with a personal claim. It's a very interesting personal claim. And, It's fascinating. And again, this is just one of the hot topics on X, and you'll just have to hear it to believe it for yourself. So this is a professor in a debate about whether or not trans women, or some would say trans identifying males, should be able to allow compete in sports designed for physiological females. And here's her argument. Oh, that's not it. Hang on.
And the idea that I have to get up here and say that trans women are women and that's what I have to use my time to do is absurd. Shame on you. Shame on
Wait,
all
hang
of you.
on. She is right that it's absurd, but maybe not for the reasons she thinks it's absurd. But I'm going to let you finish. I backed it up a little bit so you can hear the whole thing.
I have to use my time to do is absurd. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. And shame on you for using lesbian politics as a front for your transphobia, because this lesbian has had plenty of girlfriends with penises.
Hey, Brent, are you still here? There's your culture war. There's your culture war event of the day. Just saying. So plenty of lesbian girlfriends with penises. Okay. Ms. Wildwolf, you mean you're bi, not a lesbian? Well, here's the thing, and because I whenever I hear that too, I go, well, wait a minute, because the term is homosexual, right? So that's referring to sex. So even the people who say that sex and gender are different things, well, but it's homosexual, which means it'd be based on your sex, and a lesbian or gay or whatever is based on your sex. It's not homogenderal. It's homosexual. So I've always wondered about that argument. So there you go. Now, since I'm kind of limited for time today, I'll just run through a couple of these. And I want to talk about this delegation that went to Cuba, which someone got an argument this weekend. It's pronounced Cuba, you morons. And I'm like, well, yeah, in Spanish it's pronounced Cuba because it's CU, which ooh in Spanish, but in English it's Cuba. I mean, I'm just saying, unless you want to say Cuba, but that's not it. Different languages have different pronunciations. Baseball has been very, very good to me, or baseball has been very, very good to me. You know what I mean? So fuck off. If that's your best argument about Cuba or Cuba, if you're going to say it in Spanish, then just fuck off. Anyway, so but the other stories, what's his name? Alan Ritchson. By the way, I watched a really good movie with Alan Ritchson over the weekend on Netflix. What was it called? Something about War Machine or something like that. And it was Hello Cannibalistic Wizard. I actually thought it was a well done movie. It's a little bit of sci-fi to it. Well, there's a lot of sci-fi to it, but if you don't read what it's about, just watch the movie. It's called War Machine on Netflix, and then tell me later if you see it what you think. But anyway, apparently he was thought he might have been still shooting an episode of his popular show on Sunday because he allegedly beat the hell out of a neighbor in Tennessee, and people caught it on video. He got mad at somebody and beat the crap out of him. Why? Who knows? Oh, maybe it was a motorcycle accident or what? So anyway, and I'm not, are they sure it was him? I'm not sure. Okay, it was good. Did you see that movie, Cannibal or Woodcutter? The CGI effects were better. It could have been a big summer flick. Oh, if the CGI effects. Yeah, true. I thought it was pretty good though. Anyway, all right, so that's that. And then lots of stuff about Iran. And the old taco things going around again because Trump. Look, the taco, which stands, I guess, for Trump always chickens out. I'm just curious. So they were going to increase their, I guess, raids on Iran and perhaps hit some power facilities and whatnot. And then Trump said they had some sort of talk over the weekend. They were going to ease things up. Then Israel didn't do it. And then Iran says they denied President Trump's post, which claimed U.S. and Iran have had productive conversations to end the war. Iran says there's been no direct or indirect contact with President Trump. President Trump is trying to buy time in the Iran war. President Trump withdrew from power plant strikes after Iran's firm warning. President Trump's comments are psychological warfare. Hormuz will not return to pre-war conditions as long as psychological warfare continues. Iran has entirely denied all of President Trump's claims. So, okay. And so the lefties in the United States are, he's taco. Wait a minute. If he was always chickens out, I don't think he would have started anything with Iran. And they've decimated most of their capabilities. And they have, we have 100% superior air power. So I'm not really sure what that means, you know. But Trump said it was considering de-escalating the military effort in Iran. And they're saying, taco? The construction of the largest data center in America has been approved. It'll be the size of Central Park in Illinois. The U.S. issues a license allowing the sale of Iranian oil. CEO of Qatar Gas says they've lost $20 billion on the facilities they built 2 years ago. 12-month inflation expectations of the United States have spiked to 5.2%. Bloomberg claims that new companies are creating fewer jobs due to artificial intelligence. J.P. Morgan warns the AI boom could destabilize between $40 and $150 billion in corporate loans in the U.S. Redfin confirms that prices are dropping. Owners prefer not to sell rather than accept low-ball offers. Are we facing a housing bubble burst? It's that housing bubbles probably due anyway. The United States and Japan announced a joint $40 billion project to build nuclear reactors. All this happened in a single day. So that's a lot of shit going on. But anyway, Trump had posted this. I'm pleased to report the United States of America and the country of Iran have had over the last 2 days very good and productive conversations regarding complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations, which will continue, he misspelled which, continue through the week. I have instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period, subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Which, of course, so Iran is denying that. And all the usual suspects who spend their whole time on social media being pissed off about Donald Trump are in that taco thing, right? Trump always chickens out, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, we'll see what happens. You know, I remember also when he waited after the mullahs decided to crack down on people protesting, and he didn't attack right away like he said he would. But then he eventually got attacked. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what's really happening. I don't know. I never know who to believe on any of this shit. So I'm going to move on. Let's go. But anyway, there's 5 different tabs on this today. I want to talk about the morons that went to Cuba, though. That's what I want to talk about. So, a delegation of useful idiots have gone to Cuba from various countries, including Hasan Piker and Greta Thunberg have gone to Cuba. And apparently they're being described as a VIP flotilla led by Pablo Iglesias and Hasan Piker. And apparently they're being led around Cuba by Cuban officials and the Cuban officials making sure that everything's fine and dandy around them, while the poor people of Cuba have to watch these idiots run around. So I'm just going to scroll through some of these posts that are somewhat hilarious. This is one though, as they're going, they seem to be going on these what are being described as human safaris, where they get on these buses and they drive around Cuba and they get to take pictures of all the poor people. Well, here in this video, members of the VIP flotilla of Pablo Iglesias and Hasan Piker throw food at Cuban children to dance while they record videos of for their social networks. The man recording is saying how disrespectful is taking advantage of the misery of the Cuban people to make content. So here they are. You can't really see it from this distance, but they're on their. They're giving kids food to dance. Here, dance for me, kid, dance for me. Let me take a video of you dancing for me if I give you a cookie. I'm sorry, you can't see the whole thing there. So that's one of the posts. Also, dear Western liberals, Cuba is not your personal poverty safari. Here's the buses they've been getting on to take tours to see the poverty in Cuba. Cubans are not zoo animals for you to gawk at from your tour buses, and their lives are hard enough without a load of pink-haired freaks telling them how lucky they are to live under communism. Go home. Yeah. Hi, Darren Root, by the way. Also, apparently, they had a concert at their hotel. Now, there was some major electricity blackouts in Havana where these idiots are staying, except for at the hotel where these idiots were staying. There's video of the only power around the entire neighborhood where they were staying was in their hotel. So apparently a Cuban got a video out. You look at the hotel and all the lights are lit up and whatever and everything. And then you turn the camera around and everything around them else is pitch darkness. Not a single light to be seen. Also, apparently they had a concert for the visiting guests. Somebody named Kneecap or something like that. Kneecap's a rap singer or something shit like that. Which caused the electricity at a hospital to go out, and some people who were on ventilators and shit at the hospital died as a result of it. But they got to have their little concert, and of course he's wearing the Iraqi fishnet, or excuse me, is Iranians or Iraqis who have the fishnet scarves that the Palestinian stole the design to make it look, oh, this is a Palestinian thing. No, those things on there represent fishnets of fishing villages. But anyway, so they had a concert at the hotel, which caused the power to go out. Some ICU patients died because of it. In fact, here it is. Breaking, all patients on ventilators at a Cuban hospital died after the Irish band Kneecap used massive amounts of electricity during a humanitarian performance. Humanitarian, of course, for fellow communists, while the performers and activists stayed in a 5-star hotel with power. Now, there are some conflicting reports about them staying in a 5-star hotel, because the actual 5-star hotels are all owned by the government, and they do not allow foreigners to stay in the 5-star hotels where government officials go. But the next best thing the next best go to the tourists who are led to places where they actually have electricity versus where they don't. But anyway, also apparently Hasan Piker's mad about the trip because apparently AT&T shut down his account because he was using too much data in Cuba, and therefore now he fears for his safety in Cuba, which I don't know why he would fear for his safety in Cuba, because Cuba is a communist paradise. Why would you feel for your safety in Cuba? Here's Hasan Piker bitching about his AT&T account.
Cuba, and boy, do I have a show for you. Boy, do I have to tell you all about the things that have happened. My phone is basically just a non-functioning brick at this point. AT&T shut off my account because I was using too much data in Cuba.
I wonder why who would complain about him using too much data in Cuba? Do you think it was AT&T? Or maybe he was just taking some pictures of shit that he shouldn't have been taking pictures of, and maybe that was a local thing. Who knows? Anyway.
For my own safety, I guess, even though I functionally have had no data in Cuba whatsoever, but we're still doing the damn thing.
Wait a minute. In a communist paradise, you don't have any data, Hasan? Come on, Hasan.
And I have a bunch of interviews lined up with Cuban doctors, regular Cuban folks.
Now, anybody question that? That he's got interviews lined up with Cuban doctors and regular Cuban folk? How did he arrange those? Who do you go to in Cuba to arrange those interviews? I'm just wondering how regular folk they are. Like, did he get to take a rent-a-car and drive out into the out into the mainland of Cuba and just go find some random people to interview, or did they arrange interviews for him? I'm just curious. By the way, and I'm not going to knock the Cuban doctors, at least for their skills. Apparently, Cuban doctors are pretty well known for having great skills and go out into other countries and help other places, whatever. But you can find a Cuban doctor in a cab, driving a cab maybe, yeah. But I'm just curious, who arranged these interviews?
And, we're going to talk about their energy grid, but before that, obviously.
Their energy grid that doesn't work, except for in your hotel?
I'm going to be talking about the situation that we're in Cuba.
Okay, so he's going to be doing some interviews. Good for him. Also, Greta Thunberg was there, and boy, oh boy, this young lady, which is, well, this post describes her as the biggest grifter of all time. She went from climate action to supporting Hamas to supporting the Ayatollahs and now the communists in Cuba, just to stay relevant. And now that she's 23 years old, even though she still looks like she's 15, she's 23, so you can criticize the fuck all you want of her. So there you go. And I didn't phrase that very well, but whatever. Anyway, here's Greta Thunberg being completely original and, has no visual aids whatsoever.
Show me what the people looks like. Show me what power looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. Show me what
This might not be in Cuba. Did she just say, show me what democracy looks like? In Cuba?
How dare you?
Why has she become a superstar of the useful idiots? Oh, because her parents are full-on nut jobs.
People looks like. Show me what power looks like. One struggle, one fight. Climate justice, human rights.
Yeah, there's lots of human rights in Cuba. I don't think this is in Cuba. It can't be in Cuba. Can it be? Can this actually be in Cuba? I see. I mean, there's a. What's that say? Okay, she's not in Cuba. They don't have that. That says Scandinavia. I don't know why they're saying this is in Cuba. Anyway, but yeah. Also, let's see. Breaking has now been revealed. The Cuban regime was forced to deploy armed security to protect the five-star hotel where champagne socialists like Hasan were staying, fearing locals might attempt to storm it in protest of the country's electricity being diverted to the hotel. Where's the here? Here's one of the. Hang on a second. Let's open this one up. So a friend in Cuba just notified me that every single patient in that hospital that was on ventilators died tonight. I don't have words. There's something supremely saddening and enraging about seeing a hospital running on bare minimum power, thinking about dialysis patients, babies in NICU, and others tonight in Cuba. This is a blockade of death. So there's the hotel that was, still had their lights on, but everything around it, it was a complete blackout. breaking footage from outside the hotel in Cuba where the communist flotilla, blah, 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 and other useful idiots and VIP propagandists lounge in comfort while Cubans are left in the dark during a nationwide blackout. The entire island is without power, hospitals dark, people screwed. The contrast couldn't be more startling. The lights are blazing and the AC is humming at the luxury hotel, and within seconds you can see how Cubans live. But hey, as long as the regime's useful idiots stay comfortable, the show must go on. Classic communism. Elites lit up, the people left in the dark, hypocrisy on full display. So, here's that video of the hotel at night. This is crazy. You can see this here. So this is at the hotel. Lights on everywhere. Even in the entryways. Now contrast that with the next video showing outside of the hotel.
Policía hay luz. Y curiosamente en el hotel donde están los comunistas hijos de puta, también hay luz, que es ese que está allá. Bueno,
there are some lights there in the background. I don't know what that is.
Bien. O sea, no se preocupen que el coleta está protegido. Esa es la estación de policía. Y ese es el hotel. El Gran Bristol.
It's wild. Let's see. This is what Cuba, the left's socialist utopia, looks like after 65 years of communism. And of course, it's all the fault of the United States because socialism is good and America is bad. I'll say one thing. Certainly the blockade of Cuba didn't help at all. Hello, Rockhopper. But if communism is such a perfect thing, then why would they need any help from anywhere else in the world? So, look, and you can certainly take photos of the bad parts of the United States too, California, and see that. And then finally, this is kind of the funny one that I saw earlier too. The joy that these Code Pink people have painting a mural for these people. This is the lack of self-awareness is astounding. Listen to this.
I am helping to leave a gift and vision of humanidad. This is the mural for humanity, and it's going to have little boats with notes in it of love, and it will, the words will go across all the way to the bird on the other side. There'll be fishes and sea life here, and it's from a poem with artists from all over the United States. I am helping to...
A mural of humanity. Oh, more Hasan Piker. Here, wait a minute. Here's Hasan Piker again. And Hasan and his goals. Listen.
What's up, guys? I'm Hasan Piker. I'm here in Havana, Cuba, right now on a humanitarian aid mission alongside new.
Wait a minute. Hold on. A humanitarian aid mission. So apparently I guess it's a float. They said it's a flotilla. I don't know how they got there. But I'm pretty sure that the group there is probably eating more food than they brought. I'm just saying. So yeah.
Numerous other organizations, including but not limited to the DSA. And my goal here today is to bring awareness to what my government, the United States of America, has done to the Cuban population. One of the most ridiculous embargoes of all time that has only gotten more deadly as time has gone on. We have tremendous sanctions on oil transfers in this country. We're not allowing other...
Now that their biggest suppliers, Venezuela and Iran, are having difficulties, I'm sure that's certainly exacerbated problems in Cuba. Not that they were... Look, that just happened in the last few months. How about a year ago? How's the island paradise of Cuba doing a year ago? That's what I'm curious.
Countries to send in oil as well. It's a necessary resource. The hospitals are in a state of dire disrepair already.
And they can't run when all the electricity is going to your hotel.
Due to the different components of sanctions.
Hey, did you warm? What's nice to see you?
The hospital machines are broken and they can't be repaired because...
Did you hear the ranting monkey sent Chuck Norris to the underworld to become the Doomslayer? I didn't know monkeys sent him, but you know, that makes sense. They were on a phone call away basis. So there you go.
Cuba is considered a state sponsor of terrorism, and I wanted to basically showcase the personal lives of everyday Cubans and how this system, this rigorous sanctioned system.
What about the communist system that they live under? Come on, man.
Actually dominates their lives in very meaningful ways, and yet we don't even know about it. Most Americans don't even know about it. And I would go so far as to say even a lot of Cubans don't know about it either. So my goal, hopefully, is to bring awareness to the inhumanity, because collective punishment is a war crime after all.
Oh, now it's a war crime too. Okay. Oh, he's just such a man of such intellect and grace. As they hand out cookies to make little kids dance. Oh, and there's this is that Code Pink lady. Part of the group there is Code Pink. Yeah. Now apparently they're flying like first class though. What the hell?
So we're on the plane now, getting ready to go to Havana.
Is this like a
Cuba.
private charter?
This entire charter flight full of people.
Oh, there we go.
As important.
Oh, so it wasn't a flotilla. I wonder how much medicine they brought with them.
Medicines, and we're so excited to be with the Cuban people.
Well, of course you are. You're communist.
Show our solidarity, and to say that this cruel, inhumane, barbaric policy of the Trump administration has to go.
Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. The policy of the Trump administration? Did she say the policy of the Trump administration? I am just flabbergasted. Did this start with President Trump? Oh my gosh. How long has this been going on? Since like the 60s? The policy hasn't changed. Oh my God.
So we're on the plane now, getting ready to go.
What's Medea Benjamin? That's her name. She's a moron. She's a moron. But boy, oh boy, she gets a lot of airtime. Anyway, so that's all I got for today. If you want to go see, the aggregator has a ton of stories regarding Iran and everything that's going on there, and also I have a couple links to threads in X in here, but I'm gonna have to call it a day because just because it's that time. So I appreciate everyone stopping by today, new and old. Brent Hayes, thanks for subscribing. Thank you, AD, for sponsoring the show. Greatly appreciate it. I've updated an outro, finally, with the top donors of 2025 and the top donors so far in 2026. So if you want to see your name in lights, or if you don't see your name, let me know, because I'm sure there's people on that I don't have on there that I may have missed who've donated over the last few years. So there's that. So, and there's different video. It's a recycled one, but it's something different. Some of you may have never seen my footage from the mission in San Diego. So there you go. Here we go. Here's the links from today, just about. And there we go. Copy. Here's the links for everything, including the aggregator. That's it for today. I got to go. My name's PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.